everyone, Suzannah here from the Tapping Association, and today I wanted to talk to you about a really fascinating aspect of EFT tapping called the generalization effect. Dun, dun, dun. So if you've ever wondered how working on just one single emotional event with EFT can lead to changes in other areas of your life, then keep watching. Now, as you know, EFT, emotional freedom techniques, is a really simple yet powerful method that involves just tapping gently on these specific meridian or acupressure points on your face and upper body. And this helps us to really balance our body's energy system, calm down the nervous system, and release emotional distress. So let's talk about the generalization effect now. So how I like to explain it to people is if you imagine that you've spilt on the floor a big bucket of water, okay? Now think of that like a significant emotional event in your life, a specific event. So it might be a moment that you felt deep anxiety or, a fear or some kind of traumatic incident. So when the bucket hits the ground, when the water hits the ground, the water doesn't just stay in one spot. The water kind of splashes outwards and makes all these little smaller puddles as well. And these smaller puddles kind of represent other times that you felt similar emotions, but in different situations. So when we use EFT, we can kind of mop up, first of all, that big emotional spill, which is that original event, but we don't just clean that one spot. Well, as we mop, the mop kind of naturally soaks up those smaller puddles too, meaning that other kind of related emotional triggers or events begin to clear as well. And that's the generalization effect in action. So by tapping on one core event, we can ease the charge of other small similar experiences, sometimes without ever directly working on them at all. So if you're a client, you might not notice the full effect of this immediately. So your practitioner will be kind of talking you through things. You might feel specific relief around the specific issue that you've been tapping on. So you might find that your SUD score comes down, etc. But over time, perhaps over a few sessions working with your practitioner, you'll find yourself in situations that perhaps used to make you anxious. Suddenly you realise, I don't feel anxious about this anymore. So it's as if that emotional weight that you once felt is kind of just quietly lifted in the background, and you just think to yourself, oh wow, I don't even think about this in the same way that I used to, or I feel differently about this. And this is why it's so important that you are tracking your progress with tools such as the SUD scale, the subjective units of distress scale, or the SUS scale, which is the subjective units of experience, because these really help you to measure those changes even when they happen gradually. And the generalization effect, if you are a practitioner, the key for making the most of this generalization effect is to make sure that you're working really thoroughly on one specific event. So with tapping, we're always trying to get to that specific event and then tapping through all the aspects of that event as well. And when you do this really effectively, your client should begin to experience, as I said, these unexpected benefits in other areas of their life as well. And this is why when you're working with a client, it's really helpful to be using those scales, obviously helping them to create SMART goals as well, really measurable goals that they can kind of check in and measure, checking with their social anxiety. So say if their social anxieties are an 8, and then if their SUDs drop naturally over time, you can see the kind of ripple effect in action in other areas of their life as well, and all sorts of different social situations, for example. And this is why I love EFT, because it doesn't just heal that kind of one moment. It really can transform your entire kind of emotional landscape, really. So that is the generalization effect in a nutshell. Think of it like mopping up. You're mopping up the big puddle and lots of little puddles around it as well. And if you like this video, please do like it. Please do subscribe. You can check out my other tapping videos to experience the power of EFT for yourself as well. Take care.